think I was a little slow for that one. Quick quotation marks, little vlog or whatever. Something that I get asked a lot all the time is one of those cliche things like, but you don't look sick, or, like, how do you do so much? Which I really don't do that much when you're sick, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And it gets to what I always talk about anything, generally speaking, life, anything like that. Your most important thing and how you go about your life is your perspective, right? And a lot of people go by the convenience of their perspective. Sometimes it doesn't matter what is true and what is not true, what is true, what is false. A lot of times it's just what do they have more, what do they feel has more value can actually change what is like a fact or fiction, I guess, right? Technically. But the convenience of your perspective and your perspective is the most important thing in life. So people say, Clayton, you don't look sick or something if it's a hater, if it's someone that doesn't know me, or if someone knows me, like, how do you keep doing this when you're sick? You know what I mean? You're just in the hospital. Man, dude, oh boy, I've been having a bad period of those cluster headaches, chronic migraines, whatever. Like, I was fucked up all night last night again, which I was actually thinking about doing this video last night, and I got sick actually. So that just goes to show you. But I mean, like, people are like, how do you work out when you're sick like this? You know what I mean? And the thing is, I'm not big, dude. I'm like 175 pounds. Even that's exaggerating a little bit. I've been losing a little bit throughout the years as my health is just, it just gets harder and harder, right? But I'm like 5'11" out of bed, 175 pounds, you know what I mean? I'm not big, nothing like that. If I actually took steroids or something like that, I don't think I would ever take steroids, but I definitely have thought about doing like TRT, that kind of stuff, right? Like if I took TRT or anything like that, dude, I would show people. I don't. I try to make some YouTube videos out of it, try to make some money. Try to I'll take some videos of me pinning in my butt or something, or wherever you pin it. I don't even know, right? But your perspective is the most important thing. And I've said this before. I had a really not like a movie bad kind of life, but my life still isn't, but my life was not very good growing up. You know what I mean? I think I don't really remember happy times in my life. Really, very few happy memories whatsoever. I just lots of bad memories growing up. You know what I mean? Being scared and I was also, brought up religious, unfortunately, for better or worse, maybe. I remember, praying to God for God to save me with all the bad things that were going on. But, and even I remember, it's kind of weird. You think when you're a kid, like, say, my dad, he abused me, my mom's abused me, whatever. My mom's little boyfriend's abused, that kind of shit. But when you're a kid, you're kind of an idiot, right? And, I still remember when my parents got divorced. I remember, I prayed to God for them to get back together, which is, kind of stupid if you think about it, because they're not, neither one of them I consider like super great people, right? And even I remember when my dad, I told the story, boom, I told him he was going to die and he blew his brains out anyway, right? I remember being sad, right? But he wasn't really a good guy when I think back on it now. I was like an adult, right? And then, of course, boy, geez, I was super nerdy in school. I was, beat up at the bus stop, rocks thrown at my face. Girls used to tell me I was ugly. And then I guess I changed how I looked. Then I like grew up a little bit and I looked different. And people's perspective of me changed, even though I was the same person. All of a sudden, girls that didn't like me before told me like, "Oh, you were always so funny." You know what I mean? Like, okay, we know what's going on here. You didn't care that I was funny back then, right? You know what I mean? So that's a convenient perspective of them to try to throw on me. We know that isn't true, but you know what I mean? So I've seen different sides of life and everything like that. And then, of course, when I got that job as a model, and man, even, I was nerdy growing up. And then, because I didn't look like a nerd, my own quotation marks people, they, this makes it sound epic. I don't know if it is exactly like this, but, they betrayed me. I guess, I mean, it was one of those tournaments, and then like all these video game dudes, which they still do to this day, right? They said I faked being sick and, all this kind of stuff and made terrible lies about me. And then, as my health got worse, I mean, I lost that job modeling because of, geez, you're losing all your hair, and you can't work out. Anyway, the point is, and I've told this story before, man, I've had some really rough times in my life. And when I had C. diff, you know what I mean, man, things went downhill so fast, dude. Like, because I had been getting really, really bad. And it got to the point where I couldn't really like move and wasn't really eating. And my brother, he had to like start driving me places. And he drove me to the doctor, and it was like, and the doctor was like, yo, geez, Clayton, we actually weren't supposed to be letting you out of the hospital. You were testing positive for C. diff this whole time. You could actually die. You need to be in the hospital. So I was in the hospital for a week, and man, boy, did that change my life, dude. Like, holy shit, dude. You know what I mean? Because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I had been testing positive for C. diff this whole time. They just let this happen. As the story goes, you know what I mean? I found out, I saw a lot of stuff in my records where the doctors did not tell me, you know what I mean? And oh boy, geez, doctor told me you could die. I was real sick, I mean, it took me a year before I could even work out again. I had 6 months straight where I was still collapsing from that, dude. I mean, it's crazy to think about now, man. I had a time where I was even thinking about I might need a fucking like a handicap sticker because I was just so fucked up and having trouble moving for I was like, dude, just even if I park too far away, dude, I am so fucking tired, dude. Like it took me a year before I could even work out again. And anyway, and of course I saw my doctors had done all this stuff and wow, Jesus Christ, that was a trust me, you don't win much from malpractice, if anything. Yeah, basically if your doctor doesn't kill you where I live, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I know, geez, let's not get into that story. I've talked about it before, but I didn't get much from that disability settlement. Trust me. But um, so yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was brought up religious, so I was always like, praying to God to save me, and I was just like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna fucking die here in this hospital, dude, unless I do something, right? And so my perspective just became, you know what I mean? Again, the religion thing I've always said before is, I think it's weird that God asks you, like, I'll let you in heaven if you ask for forgiveness, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I think if God was real, God would know that I would never forgive him for the life that he's given me. I mean, look at the stuff that still happens to me. People still say I faked being sick on the internet. Just such disgusting people. People make money off the stuff I've done. You know what I mean? And whatever. So, and I can tell you, I very easily remember, when I was talking, geez, I was about to write my will because they're like, yeah, I could die. I mean, I was having, man, my health was going down quick. Like, dude, things were not looking good, but things still aren't looking good. Technically, I'm still technically gonna die like a sick person, right? But you know what I mean? When that stuff was happening, I never had to have one of those cliche things where like I called someone like, oh hey, I'm sorry to you for being an asshole when I was younger. I never had those kind of moments because I've always been a very morally comfortable person, right? So anyway, all that stuff happened, and I was just like, you know what, dude? If I'm gonna die, I need to be able to die. I can't rely on my doctors. I can't rely on some God, the tooth fairy. I heard this tooth fairy analogy pretty recently. It was good. Like, some people, like when you're a kid, you're about to lose a tooth, so you have to believe that the tooth fairy is going to give you money for your pain, right? A delusion, right? And the convenience of your perspective as a kid to get through the pain of losing your tooth, you have to believe there's a tooth fairy, right? I couldn't believe that God was going to save me anymore. This was a fucking delusion. I couldn't believe that my doctors had my best interest. I knew they didn't after I saw the records. I mean, they just oh yeah, you've been testing positive for C. diff this whole time. We weren't supposed to let you out of the hospital. Like what, dude? You know what I mean? Come on. You know what I mean? So I told myself if I was going to die, and I've always tried to, I needed to be able to die knowing that I was giving my best all the time. You know what I mean? And I've had times where I'm working out next to garbage cans. You know what I mean? I could barely stand, so I was doing push-ups. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Your perspective is the most important thing in life, and you have to the convenience of your perspective. And I'm not a very convenient person in terms of my perspective. And this isn't anything that I'm like the super nicest dude ever, nothing like that. But I'm extremely morally comfortable in my life. Um, I can't really. I just wanted to be able to die, saying that I pushed myself as hard as I can, and I'm still sick. And I said, geez, I've had lots of bad periods still, and being healthy, quotation marks. I can't believe how fucking healthy I am. It feels disgusting that I have to be so healthy. And who knows? Sometimes I don't know if it's doing anything, but then again, maybe I would be even worse. Maybe I would be dead by now. I mean, geez, I've had some the stuff I've tested positive for. I've said I've gone to doctors before, and the doctors are like, "Are you Clayton Chapman? Like, I was not expecting you to look like this based on your record." I went to the hospital one time and the police, did they stop me 3 or 4 times? And they're like, "Are you Clayton Chet?" Like it was absolutely fucking ridiculous. I know I was at the cancer center recently and I was just doing some checkups and God, I've been at the cancer center before. I had someone stick a fucking piece of paper on my car. Said this is only for sick people or some bullshit. You're not supposed to be using this parking lot, parking garage or whatever it's called. It's just like Jesus Christ, like what the fuck, dude, right? Unbelievable. But and so and again, like so I have had, I've had bad things because of it. People are like, oh well, do you get more girls now or anything like that? I've reached a point in my life that well, far past reached this point, like, I went from being so nerdy that girls told me I was ugly, I had rocks thrown up my face, to girls said they wouldn't be my friend unless I had sex with them. To I have this weird social thing that now people, like I said, there's not much of a difference between being really unpopular and popular, quotation marks, right? Because when you're popular, people are also going to be nice to you for no reason. But look at all the people that are mean to me for no reason. Do absolutely fucked up shit I would never do to someone, right? But that's the convenience of your perspective, right? If we were to use the convenience of your perspective for the video game community, since I know a lot of video game people watch my videos now, think about all the lies that the video game community makes up about me, even with proof that I've never done these things and it's been other people. And obviously, there's like a social value, right? And a value to them that is more important. It's like, well, there's proof. Not sure why people try to say that I've hacked records or hacked people's accounts to make them say things they didn't, that I do a deep fake or something of people going on, so many ridiculous things that people say that I've done when it's always proof that these other people have done. But there's some social value. There's like the tooth fairy syndrome. Their perspective, they need to keep a convenient perspective that no, this person, he must be bad. There must be something he must have done. Just like all these people, this self-fulfilling prophecy, people say I fake being sick, say all this fucked up shit. This doesn't, this isn't real. Then whatever they do to make money off it. And then when I'm not nice to them, because again, what value do they have to me? They're like, oh, the self-fulfilling prophecy. Clayton was an asshole to me. It was true. The tooth fairy is real. I knew Clayton was an asshole. I knew we could get Clayton to be an asshole. It's like, but what all this stuff you did? No, 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 you're not supposed to look at that. Look at that. Like that one guy on Twitter recently. He started trying to call me out for all this shit. I'm like, none of this is true. Like, it was all this guy, right? And then I'm like, he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And I'm like, so are you gonna go on this person's wall and now actually call them out? He's like, no, you should do that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so you're obviously fake. You were waving this dude's flag in your butthole against me, trying to say I did all this stuff. Here's all the proof you did it. And I'm like, okay, if you want to really apologize, now go post to this dude about all the stuff he did. No, I don't want to do that. You should do it instead. Well, I mean, what? And I'm like, okay, so you're still an asshole. He's like, no, you're an asshole. Like, what the fuck? Absolutely delusion, tooth fairy syndrome, dude. The convenience of your perspective, right? And it's because morals don't really matter in this world, right? And I know it's real, right? Like again, I saw this analogy was just too good. Think about all the people that, again, there's proof of everything I said, but for perspective, do you think all the people that support me now, say if you were to give them millions of dollars, like, hey, don't support Clayton, we're going to give you millions of dollars. We know he's been right about everything, but hey, you might be like, oh shit, well, okay, Clayton was right, but this is $1 million, so morals don't really matter. And that's understandable, I guess, in a sense. But I think a weird thing about the video game community is a lot of these dudes, their social value is not really that high. They're actually not really nobodies. They're not giving people money. They're kind of like fake internet friends. They're fake internet friends that just talk shit about people. Like, what is their actual value? They just repost stuff that I already did or something like that. I mean, anyway, going off on a video game tangent, but yeah, the convenience of your perspective is the most important thing. And for me, my perspective in life is that morals are very important, and being the best person that I can be, what I mean, is very important. And I'm not religious, so I don't have a perspective of, oh God, well if I die, geez, I'm gonna go see Jesus. Sweet dude, who cares? It's not my life. So the convenience of your perspective is why I don't look like you think I should. You think I should look something different. That's your perspective. You can't appreciate how hard I've tried. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, geez, I'm not living, my life isn't that amazing as it is, dude. I'm still sick all the time. So, I mean, you think because I have blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe my life is amazing. It's not. But anyway, that's enough of that, right, dude? Um, man,